What's up, everybody? Louis back here. Just want to talk about UFC Vegas 76. Quick recap. Not a good night for me, and there's a lot of underdogs that hit, and it's a recurring problem. I was on the right underdogs. I was on a couple of them, not all of them. Pretty frustrating. First fight of the night, Alexander Romanov and Ivanov. Ivanov was a slight underdog. I went with him. Hindsight, it was stupid. Romanov used to be like minus 1,000, and I was getting him for minus 100. Should have went with him. The fight wasn't super interesting. Romanov paced himself very well. Didn't do a whole lot the whole fight. Saved his gas tank. Tagged Ivanov up a couple times. Was able to get the takedowns later on. So, yeah. We got to that clinch, utilized his gas tank better than he has in previous fights, and got it done. So that was a tough one. And then women's flyweight, Ivana Petrovic and Luana Carolina. I went with Petrovic just purely based on, I thought she was the favorite, and she's a UFC newcomer, and I don't know. I just thought she had to be good or something. I really struggle with women's fights, especially low-level women's fights. And, you know, Luana Carolina, I thought Petrovic would be able to get her on the ground, and Carolina was able to reverse her a couple of times. And Carolina can crack on the feet. And, yeah, she didn't really gas out like I thought she would. So, there's that. Now, moving on to the most traumatizing fight of the night, in my opinion, at 155, men's lightweight. You had Garam Kutateladze take on Elvis Brenner. Now, Garam Kutateladze is supposed to be a top-notch prospect, and he had a fun battle with Damir Magulov his last fight. And he was a big favorite, minus 675. Elvis Brenner, plus 500. I was aware of this. I like to hunt for underdogs. I watched the tape on Brenner against Tukagov. He just didn't do enough for me. And I knew he could have ended it on the feet possibly, but I thought Kutateladze would be able to take him down pretty easily. Kutateladze did eventually, but Elvis Brenner took him down in the first round. He was able to get the clinch against the fence, and Kutateladze was defending, and he would get a sneaky inside trip and get him down, didn't do a ton of damage. Finally, at the end of the first round, Kutateladze, he dropped him, hurt him pretty bad, landed an elbow on the hook on the inside, and, you know, I thought, okay, here we go. Things are heating up. And then in the second round, Kutateladze got him on the ground, landed some nasty elbows. He cut him really bad on the face. And Brenner was still competitive. He was still hanging in there. He was landing a couple shots here or there. But Kutateladze was clearly taking over. And you could tell Kutateladze he was getting a little tired. But I think you give the first round and the second round to Kutateladze all day. And then Kutateladze, it's back and forth. In the third round, I thought Kutateladze, he was landing some good shots at range, landing some 1-2s. He was cracking Brenner with some big shots. He was able to land those inside elbows, and he was hurting him. Now Brenner's coming on a little strong toward the end there, and then Brenner starts unloading against the fence, and there's about a minute left, minute and a half left, and he cracks him with a big elbow and drops him. Knocks him out, actually. He's too tired. So Kutateladze just gets knocked out. And that's one of those classics. You're fighting a tough Brazilian guy. They can take 1,000 punches, and they come back and win somehow. And that's Elvis Brenner, and he has blonde hair on top, all of that. So he fits right in there with the Charles Oliveira crew, and he got it done. So good for him. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect somebody to get knocked out with one shot when they're going to win the fight on scorecards. So that was a tough one. That sucked. I got to learn my lesson, I guess. It's Kutateladze worth minus 675. No, he wasn't, and that was a big mistake for me. So that's embarrassing. Yana Santos and Cal Rosa. Thank God I got this one right, dude. I picked the favorite. I go against my own rules sometimes. And I went with Cal Rosa because Yana Santos, I just didn't think she looked very good against Holly Holm, and she's coming off of a pregnancy, and I don't know. I just felt like a downward trajectory in her career, unfortunately. And I thought Cal Rosa looked pretty good in her last fight against Norma Dumont. And, yeah, I just didn't like Yana Santos. So, I don't know. I got it done. Cal Rosa got it done. So, there's that. Thank God it worked out for me. And then the co-main event on the prelims, 145 pounds men's featherweight, Joe Anderson Brito and Weston Wilson. This was just a stupid pick for me. And like I said again, there was already a big underdog that hit that night. I was on the wrong one. This is the one I should have been on Kudalaze, but I was on Weston Wilson. You know, I couldn't watch his last 4 fights. I literally could not find a tape anywhere. And then his last fight I saw, he got knocked out in the first round. But I saw he had 4 wins in a row. I'm like, okay, for plus 800, let's give it a shot. I just didn't think Joe Anderson Brito was worth minus 1250, you know, but he clearly was. This was a stupid pick. I should have been on Joe Anderson Brito KO in the first round. I mean, that's like a realistic bet. It's not like insider information. That's like, clearly that's what's going to happen because Wilson leaves his chin up in the air. And that's what happened. Wilson, you know, Brito just rushed him, landed some big shots early on. Wilson kind of looked like he was going for an ankle lock or a heel hook, and Joe Anderson Brito just got his weight on top of him and beat the shit out of him. So, and knocked him out from there. So, hit him with some big, nasty shots. Wilson did not know how to bail on the heel hook, and he got it done. And that was stupid. I should have picked the under. I should have picked Joe Anderson Brito by KO. That was my bad. You know, but it's just hard because Joe Anderson Brito is not worth minus 1200. I don't know how to decipher who's worth minus 1200 or not. So, you know, but if I would have won, it would have been huge, but it didn't. And then the main event of the prelims at 170 pounds, Kevin Lee and Renat Fakhretdinov. Yeah, I mean, I picked Fakhretdinov, and then going into this, I was really nervous. I was like, oh man, is Kevin Lee ripe for a comeback here? And seeing how, you know, there's already a big underdog on there, and dogs were barking on the card a little bit throughout the night, but I just thought, man, am I going to, like, get all these fights wrong? And I thought, you know, Kevin Lee, he's been off for a while. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe he needed his leg to heal. And right away, Renat just unloads on him. I didn't expect all this out of it. I thought it was going to be a tough grappling battle. I thought Kevin Lee had the advantage on the feet, and he didn't, dude. Fakhretdinov just freaking unloads on him, just rushes him with some overhands and some nasty hooks, hurts him really bad, makes Kevin Lee shoot. Kevin Lee's in on that single, has his head on the inside. Fakhretdinov has that front choke and makes him pass out. He chokes Kevin Lee unconscious. Kevin Lee's hand still wrapped around that single, so his arms didn't flop down. It was hard to tell if he was unconscious. Said that he was about unconscious for about 7 seconds, so that was a tough one. But yeah, dude, unfortunately, I just don't think Kevin Lee belongs at 170. I never understood why he went there. He lost whenever his last fight against Daniel Rodriguez, and then when he fought RDA, he lost. So I don't know why he's up at 170. And I know the cut's hard for him, but he's got to get the 155. He needs to get the 155. He needs to work his way back up. He still has a lot of talent. I don't know why he insists on being at 170. There's a lot of good guys he can fight at 155 that are lower in the ranks. He just needs to work his way back up. He might even be able to fight a couple UFC newcomers, who knows. But it's just a shame. You know, we've been waiting a year and a half, finally back to the UFC, and that's what happens. So that sucks. But for Renat, sky's the limit for this guy. Huge victory. I think he could fight Daniel Rodriguez next. Why not? I think that'd probably be... It's a very good matchup for him. I think he could get the job done. He could hop right into the top 15 with that one. Or he could fight Neil Magny next. You know, have the ultimate test, whatever you want to do. But, yeah, that guy's top 15 material for sure. Okay, moving on to the first fight of the main card. I got this one right. I was really happy. Middleweight, 185, Bruno Ferreira taking on Nursultan Ruziboev, a UFC newcomer. The line was pretty lopsided. Bruno Ferreira was minus 225. Didn't think it was worth minus 225. Both guys, other fights, end of the first round, they go in the center and they bang, and that's about it. So that's a coin flip for almost my plus 200. So I went with Ruziboev, and he got it done. Not much to report in this fight at all. A very quick one. Did not have to sweat this at all. Little feeling out process. Ruziboev catches a kick, lands a big overhand right, gets a knockout, like one punch. Very exciting. Very good debut. Ferreira had a lot of hype coming in, beating Gregory Rodriguez like that. And Fierro was about number 26-ish. So I think Ruziboev, hopefully he steals Fierro's hype. He could fight number 24, Michael Jacek. Don't remember last time he fought, to be honest with you. Or number 20, Bruno Silva. I think that would be a good one. Yeah, Bruno Silva just had a disappointing performance against Brendan Allen. Maybe it's a little too high up for him. But I think it'd be a fun banger. Both guys can get in there and chuck them, and Bruno Silva can get back on track. I think that could work, Or just give him a newcomer, or just somebody lower in the rankings that will give him a fun fight. Or you could do Mearshard's got a fight though, I'm pretty sure sometime. And Mearshard's a weird one. Like, he's either really good or really bad. But I think Bruno Silva would be fun. Why not, Okay, on to the next fight. This one was embarrassing because I did not apply my same logic to the last fight. Benoit Saint-Denis plus 255, Ismail Bonfim minus 305 at 155. I was really impressed with Bonfim against Terrence McKinney. But maybe McKinney wasn't always cracked up to be, honestly. And Benoit Saint-Denis, I knew he was really tough, but I kind of assumed Bonfim had really good wrestling defense, and maybe McKinney's not that great of a wrestler. And it was a tough one, Looking back on it, I should have played the underdog again with Benoit. I don't know why I didn't. The fight, not really super competitive. It was kind of fun, but in the first round, Benoit's landing some body kicks, and Bonfim is he's like, hit me more, kick him in the body, which, they even said on the broadcast, you can only take so many body kicks. It doesn't matter how tough you are. So that just horrible IQ. So, put a big caution next to his name if you ever think about betting him again. But then Benoit was able to get to the clinch, get the takedown, gets full mount. Now, Bonfim's able to reverse, though, so, he's not, inept on the ground, and then he lands a big knee on the feet, but nothing crazy. He was there. He landed a couple shots, and then Denise gets him in that clinch again, hits him a nice shrug by, takes his back, and then gets the hooks in. He's just trying to get that rear naked choke in, and Bonfim fought off as much as he could, but Benoit gets the rear naked choke submission with short time left. There's less than 30 seconds left. I thought he might be able to fight out of it, maybe have a better second round, but even then, dude, I don't think he would have won that fight, period, because Benoit is a 3-round fighter and Bonfim wasn't. Looking back on it, I truly don't know what I was thinking. It's embarrassing, it's stupid, it's going to haunt me. That being said, though, Benoit Saint-Denis is on a 3-fight win streak. He's on a finish streak. He's looked good. He's come back from that brutal beating against Zaleski dos Santos all the way back when. So, some good things should happen to him. I think, a little step up here. I think he could fight either Mark Madsen or Vince Pichel. Vince Pichel, he hasn't fought in a while. He needs an opponent. And people might have forgot about him, to be honest with you. So, yeah. And then Mark Madsen, he was a big hyped guy. And then Grant Dawson just dismantled him. So, I think he could use a win. So, yeah. And then if Dos Santos, if he can get a finish over either of these two guys, now we're talking. Now he's got a lot of hype behind him. So, I like that one. Yeah. But good fight for, Denise, man. He looks really good. Then the next fight, I got it right. I got a women's fight right. Back to my underdog ways. Women's flyweight, 125 pounds. Ariana Lipski and Melissa Gatto. I just went with Lipski, man. The low-level women's MMA. And plus 200. Yeah, I'm going to pick the underdog, dude. I didn't even need to watch the tape. First round, Lipski pressures her. She lands some kicks, lands some lead hooks and some overhands and a counter. And Lipski did a good job all fight, just kind of keeping it at her range. And she kept Gatto on the back foot, pretty much the whole fight. And she defended the hell out of those takedowns. And, it was a squeaky one. It was a close one. She got it done, man. She fought very well, very smart. But then Gatto was landing some counter straights, and she shoots the clinch. But Lipsky defended all of them. Second round, Gatto gets the clinch, lands some knees. Lipsky keeps that overhook. She hits that nice step over hip toss. She can't complete it though, but she lets her know what's up. And Lipsky starts ripping the body. She lands some counter hooks, but then Gatto lands some jabs back, and she catches the body kick, gets into the clinch. Lipsky doesn't give up the takedown. Third round, Lipsky rocks her with the counter hook combination. She's able to stuff the double leg attempt. It was a desperate double from Gatto, but then Gatto was able to catch the kick. She takes her back standing, but Lipsky was really smart. She got right to the fence, scraped her off the fence, stayed up, man. She got taken out for a second, popped right back up, and then she's able to shake Gatto off her back and get on top and end the round in a good position. So, yeah, man, she got that one. Didn't have to sweat that one too much. It was close. Yeah. And I think, you know, she should fight Miranda Maverick. She's on a two-fight win streak. She had that just brain fart against Priscilla Cachoeira where she rushed in and got knocked out. Bad look, but young fighter, and she's learning. Miranda Maverick just coming off of a bad loss. And, you know, Miranda Maverick, she's a future prospect. That they thought big things of her. So I think maybe they want to give her a bounce-back fight here, something that she could grow with. And Lipsky is a stand-up fighter, and her weakness is grappling. So, you know, Maverick could take that fight. Lipsky's about number 26. Maverick's number 21-ish. There's a couple different people we could give her, though. Maybe Molly McCann, but, you know, I think Lipsky would beat Molly McCann. So I don't know if they want to do that one. But, oh, sorry, Gatto was number 22. Lipsky was number 26-ish. So, yeah, I mean, Miranda Maverick, that'd be perfect. Or you could do Antonia Shevchenko if she's going to fight anytime soon. But yeah, very smart performance from her, and made some money on that one. So, very glad I picked that one. Feature fight of the night at 170 pounds, men's welterweight 170, Max Griffin and Michael Morales. Now here again, this is what, like, the underdogs do win. Like, I put my money on Michael Morales, and I wasn't super confident. This is the one I was sweating. Like, I was sweating if Max Payne Griffin going to be able to knock Michael Morales out. Is Michael Morales going to gas out? But no, he didn't. Michael Morales was minus 250, Max Payne Griffin plus 210. Very good performance from Michael Morales. Max Payne Griffin might be the toughest guy on the planet. I thought it was a good showing for both guys because, you know, Max Payne, he's at the end of the road, but he put up a tough performance against an up-and-coming prospect, an exciting prospect. He made it tough for the kid, and he showed him what a third-round fight is like. So both guys did their jobs here, and it was a pretty good fight. In the first round, Michael's landing a double jab and then a cross, but then Max is landing some counter straights. And then he hits him with some jump knees. He's able to defend the doubles and singles. And sorry, Max was like shooting the singles and doubles up against the fence, and Michael was able to defend most of those. And he was just, and then Mike was kind of like loading up and throwing in straight shots. He was a little too short in the first round, had trouble finding his range. I thought it was a competitive first round, so I was a little worried. I thought Mike edged it out, but you never know. But then in the second round, Mike Morales just gets going, and goddamn, he's a piston. In the second round, Mike hurts him with a jab, some jabs and a right cross, and backs him up almost already to the fence, then swarms him. Then some big shots, some hooks, some overhands. Then back in range, he lands a jab and then a straight right. They both are swinging in the pocket. He's able to defend a single leg against the fence. He lands some jabs at range, then he goes in for the blitz. He throwing a little wild, you know, but I guess he was confident. But he kind of left himself open a little more than my liking. But and then in the third round, Michael's landing some more jabs and a right cross. Then he lands a big jump knee. He's able to defend a double leg. He gets taken down real quick, but he pops right back up. And then he hits a switch off the fence. Like, he pushed off the fence and hit a switch and got behind him, which was awesome. The dude's so fast. He's able to get around his back. Doesn't do much with it, though. Then he lands a jab and a straight right. Lands a couple flurries up against the fence there. Just picking up the pace, trying to get him out of there. But Max Payne Griffin, one of the toughest guys on the planet. Then he's able to defend the clinch at the end. Gets a body lock back trip at the end. Like, takes Max Payne Griffin down at the end of the fight whenever Max is trying to take him down the entire fight. Just to put a stamp on it. Just to kind of show him what's up. So, yeah. It was awesome. Very good performance. I know they want to take him slow, and, you know, Max Payne was a natural progression. He got a win off of the tough, gritty veteran. Dude, how fun would it be for him to fight Michael Piero at number 15? It's not even that crazy of a step up because Max Griffin fought Neil Magny not too long ago. He almost knocked out Neil Magny. He hurt him bad. Guess what rank Neil Magny is? Number 11. So I think that's perfect. Jack Della Maddalena has a fight coming up this week. They're not going to put him against Machado. Chase has got a fight coming up sometime. So Michel Pereira, I think it's a perfect fight. Unless they want to give him like some guy in between that time, or they want to give him some UFC newcomer, or if they want to give him not Alex Moreno, not him. Doesn't make sense. But yeah, I just think just do Michel Pereira. I don't think too much about it. I think it's a fun fight, and I don't think even if he would lose that fight, which I don't think he would honestly, but I don't think it ruins his hype because it would be such a fun fight. But yeah, Michael Morales, that dude's very fun to watch. He hits like a piston, and that guy's got power. Okay, real quick, I think we slow down a little bit on Michael Morales. I think they want to build him up a little slower. We still get him a fun fight. I found the perfect fight. Santiago Ponzinibbio, just coming off that loss against Kevin Holland, had a big knockout against Alex Morono. And he's at the end of his, he's coming to the end of his road. Let's be real about it. So I think that'd be perfect. Right there. Not too high up. It's a good step up. Max Griffin was number 25. So I just said you put him in fun fights and see what happens. So, there's a bunch of different things they can do with him. Kid's so young, so I don't know how fast they want to move him up. On to the co-main event. I was sweating this one too, and it was the easiest fight of the whole card. 155 pounds, Grant KGD Dawson taking on Damir Ismagulov. This was a big ranked matchup. Dawson was number 15, Ismagulov was number 12. Grant Dawson, the whole thing was like, I thought the wrestlers would cancel each other out, and Ismagulov clearly better on the feet. We even saw that in this fight. Grant Dawson was able to get a takedown every round, and I didn't know Dawson was this good on the ground, dude. He took his back, figure four'd him. Ismagulov could not get out. And that was the whole fight. It was so easy. There was not much to it. They don't have to sweat this one out at all. First round, Grant hits that high C to a crackdown. They're in a scramble. And Grant Dawson, he's like on his back. They're scrambling around. He's across his stomach, but Dawson's able to get the half guard, takes his back figure four, lands some nasty elbows, keeps going for the rear naked choke, but Magulov wasn't giving it up. Second round, this was the most competitive round of the fight, I thought. Damir was landing some overhand rights. He was kind of piecing him up a little bit, but Grant just kept level changing and goes for the high C to the double, gets it off the fence. They're in a scramble, and then Dawson's able to spin around his back, get the figure four, rinse, repeat. He was not giving it up, dude. And he kept switching the lock whenever he thought Ismagulov might have a chance of getting it to the mat and breaking out or turning it into him. He just did such a good job and stayed with him the whole time and was working for the rear naked choke. Third round, this was the easiest takedown by far. He hits the high C, goes to the body lock, big lift, big mat return, takes his back. That was it. Ismagulov reversed him with the last 10 seconds, so it didn't matter. Very impressive stuff. Grant Dawson clearly fixed his cardio issues. That's what I was a little worried about. It was an even money fight, so I just went with Grant Dawson, and he's a guy that I saw a lot of potential in, and I was kind of rooting for him to rise the ranks, and I saw a lot of improvement. And Ismagulov in his last fight, I just saw like he looked morally defeated toward the end of that fight, and he got tired at the end. And Grant Dawson, his last fight, he seemed to fix his cardio issues, so he looked really good. And now, something interesting, Grant Dawson said he will not fight Gamrot or Moicano. Sarukian is a possibility because they all train at ATT together, so that leaves us with limited options. But I think the perfect fight, they're fighting this weekend, number 11 Dan Hooker versus number 10 Jalen Turner. I would say the loser of that fight or the winner of that fight. I don't know. I doubt that if Jalen Turner gets a big knockout victory over Dan Hooker, they're going to want to throw him in against a wrestler. But if Dan Hooker loses, then he's kind of the stepping stone guy. No disrespect to Dan Hooker, but that's kind of what they're going to view him as at that point. And Grant Dawson Grant Dawson should be number 12, so Dan Hooker's number 11. So they'll probably just match him up. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, and then there's not too many more options above him in the rankings because RDA, he doesn't fight 155 anymore. Then the next one's Sarukian. And, you know, a lot of people are saying Sarukian should fight higher guys. So who knows what's going on at 55. But I would say it'd be one of those guys. Possibly Matt Frivola, I guess. But I think they got, you know, Matt Frivola's got a lot of hype on him. And he's probably not going to do well with such an elite wrestler as Grant Dawson. But that could be a possibility. But, yeah. People think his style is boring. I don't. I think it's extremely effective, and I'm interested to see if a guy can take a guy's back for literally the entire round. I think that's awesome. I think that wins titles. So, main event, 185 pounds, men's middleweight. For whatever reason, I was stressing this one so bad because this fight made no sense, especially as a main event. Sean Strickland's number 7. Abus Magomedov is not ranked. He has one fight in the UFC. It was a 30-second knockout. It was an impressive win. He didn't beat anybody all that good. I don't know why they did this. Does the UFC know something I don't know? His last name's Magomedov. Is this guy secretly a beast? Is he the next Khabib? Is he the next Khamzat Chimaev? No, he was not. This fight couldn't have went any better. I thought it was going to go longer. Sean Strickland got a finish in the second round. Who would have thought? And it kind of went how I predicted. I just thought, you know, Abus Magomedov used all his gas in the first round. I thought he'd have gas for at least 2 rounds. He didn't. He had nothing left by a second round. It was very bizarre, to be honest. But it was a fun fight while it lasted. In the first round, Abus, he was landing some leg kicks and some overhands, landing some counter hooks. Then he was throwing those head kicks up a lot. He clipped Sean a couple times, but Sean knew what was going on. He didn't just walk into him recklessly like he did against Piera. He's past that. He's grown from that. And then Sean kind of starts landing his jabs a little bit, pressing forward cautiously. But then Abus gets the body lock in a trip, takes his back momentarily, but Sean Strickland pops right back up. That's where I was a little worried. I was like, oh shit, is this guy going to like take Sean Strickland's back for the rest of this round? Nah, dude. Sean Strickland's got solid takedown defense, solid get-up game. He's all good. Then in the end of the first round, he kind of lands a head. Abus kind of lands a head kick. It got a little hairy, but then in the second round, you know, Sean Strickland, he kept going. As he said, my dick stays hard in the second round, and Abus was very tired. Second round, Sean was pressing with some jabs, and then he starts adding those crosses like he does. He lands a big right cross, hurts him pretty bad. Steady pressures, and he starts landing some uppercut and a hook flurry. He did this multiple times up against the fence, and Abus literally just shelled up, like literally. And the ref was about to look like he was leaning in to take a look to stop it, like up against the fence. And Abus wasn't knocked out; he just wasn't moving. So it was very interesting. This went on for a couple times. Slow and steady pressure from Sean Strickland. Finally, he drops him with the 1-2, jumps on him, punches him 10 times in the face on the ground. Wasn't moving. TKO via ground and pound. Perfect victory for Sean Strickland. People want to say he doesn't get finishes. Here you go. And it's not his fault that he's fighting an unranked guy. This is who the UFC wanted to give him. It was a main event. So regardless of who the guy is, it's a big spot for him. He's number 7 still. And middleweight is a mess. You got Whitaker and Dricus du Plessis fighting this weekend. The winner of that's going to get the next title shot. Besides that, Izzy's beating everybody. And if Whitaker wins, maybe they'll do du Plessis and Strickland. I don't really see the point, because if that would happen, then du Plessis loses to Whitaker. Then he fights, even if he would beat Strickland. Is he ready for a title shot after one win like that? Probably not. So I think Sean Strickland fights for the title next, unless somebody beats Izzy. I think that's what should happen. I kind of want to see it. I think just the build-up alone would be fun. And, yeah, it'd be a fun striking battle, you know? So I think that's what happened, man. Sean Strickland really turning things around. His only other loss is to Jared Cannonier. Pretty close fight. You could argue he won that fight. And Pierre's out of the division. So, yeah. Overall, I thought it was a pretty fun card, man. I was a little unsure about it. A lot of guys I didn't know, but they delivered, man. And that Kutadladze and Elvis Brenner fight, wow, dude. I'm going to be watching Elvis Brenner. He's one of those wild Brazilian boys, so I'm excited. And then we saw a couple prospects prove that they belong. Fakhretdinov, say what you want about Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee is a battle-tested veteran, and he made very quick work of him. So that was a big test. And then Michael Morales, beat Max Griffin like that, got it done. Grant Dawson, he's going to be a guy to watch on 155. And Sean Strickland, yeah, he should be a title contender at middleweight. So very exciting. And then obviously this week is International Fight Week. And you got Volkanovski taking on Yair Rodriguez and Moreno taking on Pantoja. Can't wait. But I'm going to take what I learned and just bet on the right underdogs. And like if I'm gonna take the underdog based on like plus 150, 190 odds, take the underdog I'm on the fence about at plus 300. I mean, just do it, And if the guy's worth minus 300, I really got to take a look at it, especially if it's his debut. And if it's a guy that's as battle-tested as Denis is, and he's plus 300, you kind of just got to take him based on that. But, yeah, I'll do my research, and I want to have a perfect week next week. Thanks, everyone.